Good morning, aviators. This is Quentin J. Parker, your pilot, and we are at Astoria Regional Airport in the upper northwest corner of Oregon on the Columbia River, just south of Porterville, Waco. And we're going to fly to Spokane, Washington in the brand new TorqueSim SR22TN with Avidyne Entegra avionics. It's a trip of about 285 miles, and that leaves us plenty of time to talk about this plane and a couple other things. So we're just going to jump right into it. Nose wheel chocks, this cold weather cowl cover, and the pitot port cover. Stow them in baggage and mount the cockpit. And here we go again. Alright, and flying. Alright. The pre-Cirrus perspective look is mad retro, if you consider 2005 retro. Got 10-inch displays, dedicated caution lights, that little panel cubby hole right there at the left. I'm just going to go ahead and perform a full startup. The SR22 Entegra comes in both normally aspirated and turbo normalized flavors. It ships with 17 liveries, including Stephen Drury's Echo Yankee Zulu. If you own any of TorqueSim's previous Cirrus SRs and are on the fence about buying this version, there's a $25 loyalty discount as incentive. Up to this point, my videos have featured the normally aspirated SR22s, making this the first video of me flying the turbo normalized upgraded plane. Alright, let's get this started. Clear prop. I'm jocking the throttle using the mouse on the screen because I do not have my throttle connected. And I'll explain why later. Avidyne Entegra, release 8. And the Garmin gear is up. Out of the box, the nav comms are the X-Plane default GN 430s. And I'm employing Reality XP's GTN 750 and GNS 430. Yeah, bear in mind that the Reality XP apps are payware, so in addition to the paint scheme, it's not stock. These are the three things I did to trick it out. Confirmed, 91 gallons of fuel. The Entegra PFD really looks like a military heads-up display, not just in layout, but also in the sheer volume of information crammed into it. Okay, I'm just going to configure the office. Give me a moment. Felt's field. And here we go. We're flying direct. There's my magenta line. And get the local weather for Astoria. ASOS.
Astoria RGNL weather. Wind calm, visibility more than 10. Sky clear, temperature 6, dew point -33. Altimeter 3042.
Negative 33 Celsius dew point, huh? Gonna set the altimeter. Set the backup altimeter as well. Clicking the headphone jack will reduce the cockpit noise as if you're wearing a noise-canceling headset. I'm going to engage it for just a moment so you can hear how quiet it gets. Alright, let's have test action for TAWS. Because we have the Tornado Alley kit, we're going to cruise climb this puppy up to flight level 250. I like the Avidyne Entegra avionics, least of all because I'm frankly sick of seeing the G1000 everywhere. Quick note, unlike the previous TorqueSim Cirrus planes, the parking brake is not a lever that's directly under the pilot's dash. It is this little knob right here where your right knee would be. I suspect the cast-during nose wheel contributes to X-Plane's natural hydroplaniness. I just made that up. All right, no one on approach. So, my Cirrus hangar is up to 9. Count them, 9 planes. 5 from TorqueSim. They are the Aeronautical SR22 GTSX for X-Plane 10. Ugh. The Hold My Beer SR22T. The V-Flight Air SR20 and TorqueSim's SR20 Garmin. SR22 Garmin, SR22TN Garmin, and SR22 Avidyne and SR22T Avidyne. Whew. Oh, and I suppose I have to count the Microsoft SR22 as well, even if it's dog shit. We have departure procedures available called the Astoria 3. I'm not worried about it because it's primarily about obstacle avoidance and I can see all the obstacles, so.
Traffic.
Getting dual traffic warnings in both the male and female voice sounds like both my parents yelling at me. Weather is courtesy of xEnviro 1.16 as opposed to Active Sky. So you've either noticed on the cockpit placard or the fuselage that I went ahead with the registrations to, tell my Cirrus planes apart from the outside. I've designated this plane Tango Tango Alpha for TorqueSim SR22TN Avidyne. The normally aspirated version would be Tango 2 Alpha for TorqueSim SR22 Avidyne. For the G1000 equipped planes, just change Alpha to Golf for Garmin. So that kind of pisses me off that xEnviro would report that the sky is clear when I'm, kicking through clouds below 10,000 feet. While we're climbing up to cruise altitude, let's check out the cockpit. These are the various screens for the MFD. You have your map. In the upper left, we get text and graphical representations of what's going on with the engine, and in the upper right shows where we are with our trip. I'm quite impressed with the map mode. It rivals the utility of the GTN 750, which I'm used to using. TAWS display. That terrain hotspot highlighted in red, pretty sure that's Mount Adams. Trip breakdown. Nearest airport list, checklist, the auxiliary page, which is just a splash page for TorqueSim and RealSim gear, and the engine page. You can pop out, reposition, and resize both the PFD and MFD, just in case you don't feel like zooming in. See what it says. Yeah, somebody asked me how does the Avidyne gear compare to the G1000, and it really is, kind of apples and oranges. I mean, both really cram a lot of information into a very small space. You just have to, know where to look for it. Okay, this is the Alpha Systems AOA Eagle HUD, and basically what this unit does is let you know your angle of attack profile. I'm in a cruise climb right now, so my angle of attack situation's, fairly good, noted by the green bar there on the bottom. I'll talk about the other indicators once we get set up for approach. And we have milkshake. Fuel flow is pretty excessive, so I'm going to Give me a hot second and I'll lean the mixture. Between the Entegra map and these two GPSs, you just really have to be not paying attention to lose your situational awareness. Okay, I got the fuel flow down from 35 to about 19. Can do better, but it's fine for our purposes. It'll reduce even further once I set the throttle to 2500, and even further than that when I set it to descend. Alright, this is a personal test of mine. Oh, it opened. That door should not be able to open, but at least it closed on its own. What else do we have? We have animated cup holders. Animated air gaspers. Can't really see it because it's dark. Yeah, but it is moving. Yeah, that one. You can see that one a little better. Air conditioning. Crank up the heat a little bit. Okay, like I said, dedicated cautions. Sun visors are fully articulated, and it's probably just me, but I have a lot of difficulty getting them to rotate down. Like I can move it up and down. I can slide it. I can get it to go back and forth, but to actually rotate it down becomes a little bit of a test of my manual dexterity. Alright, let me put this up. Nope. See, this is what I was talking about. Okay, one more time for the culture. There we go. Alright, we're just passing through 17,000. I'm going to go ahead and flip over the barometer to standard pressure. Negative 24 degrees Celsius so far. There's no visible moisture up here, so an icing test will just have to be for another day. PFD and MFD both dim. The outline of my wings and the windows, you can see xEnviro it just renders weird. Oh, you see that blue mass ahead right next to the angle of attack indicator? That is a mountain, and it rises well above the cloud cover. I should be able to see it, but it's just a blue something. Even more curious is when I go to an exterior view, it's obscured by the clouds altogether. See, there it is. If you weren't looking for it, you might not see it until you were right on top of it. And, well, you can see for yourself the way my clouds are represented. I don't know if it's a setting of mine or if that's just how it looks. But I did max out the settings, and it didn't get much better. So, some of them are really pixelated. Was a factor of proximity. Like, the closer ones are really blocky, and the farther ones look really good. As you can see, that's simply not the case. I do like how xEnviro does their sun. That's pretty neat. It's getting dark because hypoxia is setting in and my vision is tunneling. So, let's get some oxygen flowing. And O2 required. Oxygen engaged. Okay, and let's calibrate the flow meter. This is weird. That's an A3 oxygen flow meter. I am pretty sure that it's not approved for the SR22. But not going to worry about it as long as I don't pass out. Okay, we are coming up on flight level 250. Blew through my altitude. I found out after the fact that in addition to vertical speed being engaged, altitude needs to be armed so it'll capture. About what I said about that blue mass ahead? There we have it. Mount Rainier. Okay, I am not sure what's going on with how xEnviro is rendering clouds, but I do know I don't like it. Not one damn bit. And this is not something I'm expecting to see from something that commands such a premium price tag. Here's that iconic Cirrus panel and cockpit lighting. Overhead. Alright, we are good. Yep, there we go. For those of you that use it, there is Avitab support. Under the cockpit dash, there'll be a tablet in a mesh pocket. Just click the mouse on it to activate the Avitab unit. Looks like it's clearing up ahead. Maybe I'll descend below 18,000 and cancel IFR. Give it a moment. In a previous video, ages and ages ago, I mentioned that I was trying to really do what I could to make my flying just as realistic as I could get it. To that end, I took a look at my hardware. I used the Thrustmaster T16000M flight control system, little HOTAS action, and I adore it. I love it to death. However, all the planes that I fly are either side stick or yokes. And even though the flight stick can be set up for right or left-handed use, the throttle is pretty much hard molded for left-handed use. So I tried using the Logitech Pro flight yoke and throttle system, and it was okay. It's got programmable buttons and knobs and stuff, just not enough for me. Tried using just the Logitech throttle quadrant, but this unit is designed to be used with the yoke, so that didn't work. So the Archer 3 that I fly has a yoke-mounted trim control. This is a godsend to me because my big meaty thighs cover up the trim wheel that's in between the seats, and it's a hassle to get to. I tried setting up the Logitech yoke to mirror this, and it just didn't or couldn't. And then I saw that the Honeycomb yoke is set up to do that. It has a split button that's in the right place on the yoke for that function. Between that and the additional buttons on it, I figured just take the plunge, just get it, and I got it. I'm flying with it right now as we speak. It took a little getting used to. It doesn't feel like the Logitech yoke at all, and I suppose that's a good thing. The yoke's travel is silky smooth, and it's 180-degree rotation. Just what the doctor ordered. So, like many of you, I am waiting on the Bravo throttle quadrant, and I may see it as early as this week. Ooh, fingers crossed. Alright, we're just under 30 minutes out, and can begin a leisurely descent to, let's do 4,000. So, while we're descending, I feel like I should apologize for not posting as long as I have. Part of the reason for that is I've been knocking out stuff to get back into real-world flying, and it took forever. First, I had to renew my medical. Then, I had to complete a biennial flight review. And, having been off the stick for about 12 years, there was a lot of rust to knock off. I mean, a lot. Flying skills deteriorate. They really do. And it was about demonstrating that I'm safe. You know, I can land on a small, short runway. That I can handle a crosswind. That I'm familiar with the airspaces that have been revised in the time that I've been, you know, on the ground. But it's all good. I'm signed off and legal. So, yeah, you can expect to see some flying videos, like real-world flying videos. I am all about ever so manly low wings. And I'm checked out to fly Archers, Warriors, and Cherokees. But the plane I like is an Archer 3, similar to the Just Flight Archer 3 that appears on this channel. Many of those planes are equipped with Garmin 430s, so it seemed like getting the Reality XP unit was a good idea for training. And the FBO just added a brand new SR22 to its fleet. If there's a fourth stimulus, maybe I'll be checking out in that too. Uh-oh. So much for it being clear ahead. Check it out. Ephrata Municipal looks like a new base for the Avengers. And as we're closing in on our destination, it just occurred to me that I did not even think to test the parachute system. Phelps Field is actually reporting wind 050 at 4, overcast at 2300, temperature 9, dew point 03.
Phelps Field information Whiskey. 1600 Zulu weather. Wind 170 at 8, visibility more than 10. Sky clear, temperature 6, dew point -30. Altimeter 3027. Arriving runways 22 right, 22 left, 22 center, departing runways 22 right, 22 left, 22 center. Advise on initial contact, you have Whiskey.
So again, xEnviro is depicting the weather properly, but for whatever reason the ATIS information is skewed. Regardless, clear skies my aching ass. Okay, we've broken through the base at 3,600 feet. That's the Kaiser aluminum plant dead ahead. We're east of Phelps Field on an extended downwind over the Spokane River. Now we're going to turn left base. The upper half of the Eagle HUD is basically the slow install range. You do not want to be there, particularly on approach. What I want are the two blue semicircles. That indicates that I've attained an optimum approach. I'm coming in kind of steep and only occasionally managed an ideal approach profile.
Traffic.
Wasn't bad. Wasn't great, but wasn't bad. xEnviro is hit and miss. Performance issues aside, the pixely cloud rendering is kind of a distraction, if not an outright showstopper. We're shut down. And we're climbing out. Getting old. Oh, shit. Pitot tube cover. Close up. Nose wheel chocks. Inlet covers. Close up. And cover and tie down. So I'm excited. I'm real excited. I'm excited for the new hardware I'm going to be using for simming. And I really like this plane. It's a fun addition. I'm excited to be flying for real again. I'm excited for what real world flying means for this channel. You know, hashtag pilot life. And if you stuck through this entire damn video to hear all of this, I'm excited about that. Thank you very much, guys. As always, this is Quentin J. Parker, your pilot, and I'll catch you crazy bastards later. Stay vertical, guys. I'm out.